Richard, when your last name is Smucker and you live in Orville, everybody knows what your dad does.
These two Smuckers grew to make the jam their great-grandfather made, the same delicious way.
Everybody knows? Who told us?
For more than 100 years, with a name like Smuckers, it has to be good.
In this life, there's just no stopping. No break for a hacking cough, raw sore throat, fever. But there is Theraflu. Fast, soothing hot liquid therapy. Maximum strength Theraflu. Instant comfort, powerful relief.
Want to color your gray hair and get a natural look? It's easy with Just for Men.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men. No one can tell with Just for Men.
Simply shampoo in Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Just for Men blends away gray. The gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men.
We ate Quaker oatmeal for 30 days, and it helped both of us lower our cholesterol 17 points. You'd think we want to eat something different after 30 days of oatmeal. But you know what they say?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Quaker oatmeal warms your heart and soul.
So instead of paying a separate commission every time you trade, you'd pay an annual fee. Trade all you want.
All I want?
Yeah, virtually unlimited.
Oh, really?
Remember the financial plan we're working from here, Dad. The point is long-term capital appreciation.
I know.
You just don't want you sitting by the computer all day buying and selling stock.
Tonight, Scotty, Steve, and the Blazers are in southern Florida to face Miami. The Blazers, the Heat, tonight at 6:15, only on Northwest News Channel 8. Meteorologist Matt Savino, weeknights on News Channel 8.
Now they're two. Find out how they're doing and how their parents are coping.
It's unbelievable. I can't believe they're going to be two.
An all-new Dateline exclusive, Tuesday, 10/9 Central on NBC.
NBC News in depth tonight. At the controls, who's flying your plane when you ride on a commercial airliner? What are the standards to determine whether they're mentally fit to fly? There are almost 83,000 pilots flying from commercial carriers in this country. 60% come from the civilian sector, 40% from the military. Now, all the questions being asked about the crew of Egypt Air Flight 990 have people wondering just who is in the cockpit. NBC's Kelly O'Donnell tonight reporting in depth.
The skies over the U.S. busier than ever. More than 8.3 million domestic flights take off in a year. Incidents of trouble in the cockpit extremely rare, but they do happen. In some cases, violence that targets the flight crew, and in others, much less common, a pilot whose behavior or mental condition puts passengers at risk. The busiest flying time of the year just days away. Should passengers be concerned? Jim Burnett, former head of the National Transportation Safety Board.
Well, I think this is certainly a matter of concern for the traveling public. Fortunately, it has not manifested itself numerous times in the United States, but it does seem to be an emerging issue worldwide.
The history? Pilot breakdown. The most dramatic example? 1982, Japan Airlines. The Japanese government says the pilot suffers hallucinations before crashing the aircraft into Tokyo Bay, killing 24, injuring 149. The investigation reveals the pilot had been cleared to fly despite a history of paranoid schizophrenia. December 1997, Indonesia's Silk Airlines. Pilot suicide considered the likely cause of a crash, killing 103. In the U.S., officials say no incidents of pilot suicide or mental breakdown, but deadly cases of crime against the crew. December 1987, San Luis Obispo, California. A fired U.S. Air employee goes into the cockpit of a Pacific Southwest Airlines flight, shooting both pilots. The plane crashes, killing all 43 on board. 1994, a former Federal Express pilot who was traveling as a passenger attacks the cockpit crew with a hammer and spear on an attempted suicide mission, but the plane does not crash. How do airlines know if pilots are mentally fit? Barry Schiff flew 33 years for TWA.
There may be some cursory examination when a pilot is hired or before he's hired, but ongoing, no, none at all.
Pilots are required to hold a license known as an airline transport certificate and pass what's called a first-class medical exam, a checklist of overall health, including neurological and mental wellness. Aviation consultant Kit Darby.
Psychological testing is not universal. The standards here are determined by the airline.
Today, domestic airlines, the pilots union, and even the government would not comment about mental health testing policies. But some experts say testing is most likely to take place after a pilot shows symptoms or behavior that raises questions. Foreign airlines operate under their own rules, setting their own standards for pilots. All take medical tests each year, but what is unclear tonight here and around the world, how often should mental health be tested to be sure pilots are fit to fly? Kelly O'Donnell, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Then there's this item tonight. The Federal Aviation Administration is recommending that a veteran pilot for American Airlines be grounded for 6 months. That was his punishment for buzzing his own neighborhood in Daytona Beach, Florida, in a Boeing 777. The pilot was delivering the new plane to Miami back in February. He has since retired, but he says he had advance permission to fly low. There were at least 21 people on board the 777, mostly American Airlines employees, and apparently that violated another rule, operating without a flight attendant. Up next, the Reverend Jesse Jackson led away in handcuffs. The confrontation over a high school fistfight is heating up in Illinois.
Used to be, if I want something done right, I called me. It worked, until I tried to quit smoking. I needed more than me. I got Nicorette. Nicorette helped me 2 ways. I used it on a regular schedule to help prevent my cravings, and for unexpected cravings, I was ready with an extra piece. I used to be a slave to cigarettes. Nicorette helped me hang on, helped me win. Now that I'm nicotine-free, I gotta tell you, it feels good to win.
Commit to quit for the Great American Smokeout on November 18th. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
For every job, there's a hard way, or there's the Dremel way. The Dremel rotary tool with more than 150 available accessories. For every problem, there's a Dremel solution.
Love Seats by Living.com. Room designed online by Gail Devers, world-class hurdler. Introducing Living.com, home furnishings and design ideas to get over the hurdles of decorating your home. Living.com, your home, your design.
For 98 years, GMC has designed trucks for people who drove them not because they were trendy, but because their lives depended on them. Heroes who measured a truck by its power and its determination. That heritage lives in the Yukon Denali, a luxury SUV with a 255 horsepower V8. It meets the demands of professionals and the standards of history. The Yukon Denali by GMC.
Suffering from nasal congestion? A new kind of relief is about to be revealed. Introducing Natravent, the only preservative-free nasal spray. For long-lasting relief, new Natravent. No preservatives, fast relief.
Tonight, like never before, you can relax and not worry if your dentures are clean. Because you started the day with new Fix-It and Cleanser with ProGuard. This unique tablet and denture bath system not only gets dentures 4 times cleaner, it creates the ProGuard barrier, proven to protect against plaque and odor-causing bacteria all day, so that clean feeling lasts from morning till your goodnight kiss. New Fix-It with ProGuard. Start cleaner, stay cleaner.
Tomorrow and today, the debate over discipline. More schools are choosing zero tolerance. Will it keep your kids safer or does it go too far? Tomorrow and today.
It's like today, only later. Later today, weekdays on NBC.
In Pontiac, Michigan tonight, the verdict is guilty of second-degree murder for one of the youngest murder defendants in U.S. history, Nathaniel Abraham, who's 13 now, was convicted of shooting a stranger with a rifle outside a local convenience store when he was just 11 years old. His case has sparked controversy over the treatment of young offenders. Under Michigan's tough new juvenile crime law, Abraham could face life in prison when he's sentenced next month. Now to Decatur, Illinois, and the fallout over a fistfight in the stands of a high school football game 2 months ago. 6 students were expelled from school, and tonight, protests over that decision have divided the town largely along racial lines, with the Reverend Jesse Jackson squarely at the center stage. NBC's Jim Avila is there tonight.
Decatur, Illinois, population 85,000, home to young Abe Lincoln, site of the great emancipator's first political speech, proud of its reputation as a tolerant Midwest town. Today, 17% black and split apart by the arrest of Jesse Jackson, taken away in plastic cuffs for a short jail stay. The civil rights leader's 30th arrest for defying authority.
Let's reclaim these youth and put them back in school.
Jackson came to Decatur to protest the punishment of 6 high school boys, expelled for 2 years for their role in this football game brawl. The school board reduced the expulsions to 1 year, but Jackson said it was not enough and promised to take them through police lines and back to school today. But instead, the boys, already facing felony charges for the fight, watched from the street as Jackson was loaded into a police wagon. But tonight, many say this is not about high school at all, but about race in small-town America.
There's a real sadness because I see a lot of those wounds from 30 years ago, coming back and being pricked.
Paul Osborne, 35-year resident of Decatur, publisher of the local weekly paper, says many whites thought issues of race had been solved and are surprised by this outbreak of anger.
Things we thought we put behind us, we now see in front of us again.
A different view from African-American businesswoman Toni Rawls, a lifelong resident of Decatur. She says distrust between races here made Jesse Jackson's appearance necessary.
Jesse came here because he was trying to get the children in school, and because we couldn't work it out local.
Tonight, as Jesse Jackson is released from jail and the school board promises to again ring Eisenhower high with police, a reconciliation expert says the best way to solve today's racial problem is to remember those of the past.
People have to have their hurts and pains acknowledged and made okay before they can move forward.
But tonight, 6 schoolboys are still out of class, and this tolerant Midwest town remains split by race. Jim Avila, NBC News, Decatur.
And we have another note on money tonight, or currency to be more specific. Last year it was the $20 bill. Tonight the Treasury Department unveiled the new, improved, and redesigned $10 and $5 bills based on the same principle as the new 20. The bigger off-center portraits of Lincoln and Hamilton are harder for counterfeiters to copy. The new bills will start circulating in about 6 months, so we'll have to sort those out from the 20 and the 100. I'll be right back with Breaking Through, Women on the Job at the Top.
Tylenol House Call from Extra Strength Tylenol.
Your medicine cabinet. You use it every day, but do you really know what's in there?
Not everything. No, I never thought about it.
My medicine cabinet? Well, it pays to take a good look in your medicine cabinet. You might be surprised to find that you may have a prescription drug that could interact with an over-the-counter medication, altering the effectiveness or safety of one or both of the drugs. So here's some tips for you and your medicine cabinet. First, read the label for any warnings about drug interactions. Then, get rid of all out-of-date medicines, and those you don't take anymore. Who needs them? And if you're one of the millions of people who takes a prescription drug, remember, the pain reliever associated with the least risk of drug interaction and side effects is the medicine in Tylenol. So check out your medicine cabinet. Any questions? Check with your doctor or pharmacist.
Tylenol House Call is brought to you by Extra Strength Tylenol.
Don't get that, Frank.
Hello? Baxter!
New Meow Mix seafood middles. Mackerel and tuna flavors make it taste so good. Cats ask for it. By name.
You know, people still ask me about the crash. I'm tired of talking about the crash. I mean, first of all, it wasn't even really a crash. 1929. That was a crash.
Yeah, that was bad.
98 was more like a market correction, typically defined by like 10-20% drop in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which if you consider the economic factors that are affecting the current risk premiums.
When we created a smarter kind of investment firm,
I guess it's not that surprising.
we created a smarter kind of investor.
What do you know about expense ratios?
An expense ratio is a percentage.
Enterprise? Hi, my car's out of commission, so I'm out of commission.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up,
This is great.
drive you to our place, and get you on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
The all-in-one, internet-ready Gateway Astro PC is so simple to set up. You'll have it up and running in less than one donut. Just $799 with an Intel Celeron processor. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
From outsider to role model for the whole nation, the life of Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis.
On Headliners and Legends with Matt Lauer, tonight on MSNBC.
This weekend on National Geographic Explore, fly with the dinosaurs, then dive deep to discover treasures 25 centuries old. Explore, Saturday and Sundays on CNBC.
Tonight, our series, Breaking Through, Women on the Job. One of the most successful women in American business ever says to other women, no, you can't have it all. But the larger lesson is you can have what you want, including success. NBC's Ann Thompson on a living legend in the American advertising business.
Shelley Lazarus, called the most powerful woman in advertising, the very image of success. But her path, a constant trade-off of work and family.
To be a working parent is all about accepting imperfection, accepting limitations and mistakes.
52 years old, Lazarus is CEO of Ogilvy & Mather, the 7th largest advertising firm in the world, with 10,000 employees billing almost $9 billion last year.
The essence of what we do for clients is to help them build their brands.
For 3 decades, she's built some of the most famous brands in America. Pepperidge Farm.
You don't have to go all the way to France to get a great croissant.
Dove. American Express.
I love this card.
Now as a role model, unofficially building the brand of a working mother.
If I read one more article about how you can have it all, I will scream. This is not possible.
Her life, like millions of other women, a balancing act of career, a 30-year marriage, and 3 children.
How are you doing with your brace?
Now as CEO, facing a growing issue in corporate America, how to attract and keep talented employees, most notably working mothers.
If we want to keep working mothers, we have to allow them to find the balance that satisfies them. Otherwise, they're just going to leave.
Lazarus stayed, making herself indispensable to the company, pulling in huge accounts, all the while insisting on flexibility.
I made it clear to everyone I worked with that my children were my highest priority.
That meant missing the occasional meeting and business trip. Anyway, still she made a steady climb up the corporate ladder until the biggest setback of her career, losing a $60 million account in 1991.
We were fired on American Express, and I had worked on it. I had led it for years, and it was devastating to me, actually.
And yet, Lazarus wouldn't let it end. She continued to build her relationships at American Express, and 10 months later won back the account. In 1994, she landed IBM, the largest single account in advertising history, $500 million.
Who had the relationships with the folks at IBM? Shelley.
Her reputation as a superb strategist, now literally a textbook case, taught in MBA programs across the country.
I think that she's an example of someone who knows her strengths and the value that she adds, and that's what I like students to have a sense of.
But Lazarus has an even more fundamental lesson for women studying her career.
The advice I give everyone is try to find something you love to do.
Without it, she says you cannot lead in business or hope to find balance in life. Ann Thompson, NBC News, New York.
That's nightly news for Tuesday. Don't forget Dateline NBC tonight at 10, 9 Central. I'm Tom Brokaw. I'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Nightly News is a presentation of NBC News. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
From KGW, where the news comes first. This is a Northwest News Channel 8 special edition.
Why did someone say a prayer in the cockpit of Egypt Air Flight 990 just before the plane took a nosedive? For now, it is a question that Egyptian investigators will look into and not the FBI. It's our top story tonight. Hello, I'm Carol Jensen.
And I'm Tracy Berry. Thank you for being with us. Many expected the FBI to take over the investigation of the Egypt air crash today, but it didn't happen, not yet.
Instead, the NTSB late this afternoon talked about that mumbled prayer. And as Russ Lewis tells us, it also ruled out a few possible